Suzhou Amusement Land Forest World is a mouthful to say, but it is a genuinely good theme park in China. This park is home to Beyond the Cloud, an intense Mack launch coaster that is one of the country's best rides. But this place has so much more to offer. It has a tilt coaster, multiple dark rides, and some nice scenery. In this review, I will share everything you need to know about this park. This park's history began in a similar fashion to Elitch Gardens. The original Suzhou Amusement Land opened roughly 3 decades ago in the late 1990s. At one point, this park featured 5 roller coasters, including a Vekoma SLC. The park closed in 2017. It was slated to become a high-tech residential hub, and that SLC would actually remain in place as an aviary. But as far as I can tell, that project has not yet started. Meanwhile, the theme park relocated 5 miles northwest. It reopened in 2020 bigger and better than ever. The overall complex is still called Suzhou Amusement Land, but is now divided into 3 separate properties. There's a water park called Water World. There's an indoor theme park called Candy World. This place is geared more towards kids, and if you're a credit hunter, it is worth noting this place does not have any roller coasters as of this moment. Then there's Forest World. This is the outdoor theme park and the subject of this video. This park is located 10 miles west of downtown Suzhou. While you can use public transit, this is not recommended. This likely will take in excess of an hour with multiple transfers, and the closest station is roughly 1 mile away from the park. Meanwhile, Didi is cheap, plentiful, and convenient. This is the Chinese version of Uber. It'll drop you off right in front of the main entrance. If you have your own car, there is a parking lot. The park's WeChat mini program lists how many parking spaces are available live. The park charges an hourly parking rate, capping at 25 to 30 yuan total for the day, or roughly $4. That is way cheaper than what most parks charge in the United States to park. What is WeChat? This is one of 2 major apps you should have while in China. WeChat has a series of apps within an app. Several parks and businesses have mini programs within WeChat, including Suzhou Amusement Land. Then while on the topic of WeChat, you will likely need this app or Alipay to purchase anything at this park. These are the preferred payment methods for most businesses in China. Make sure to set these up before getting to China, because there's an identity verification step that may not be instant. When you arrive at this park, you are greeted by this grand entrance. It is one of the more impressive theme park entrances I have seen. There's a structure atop a hill with multiple level roofs. Then the staircase leading up to it has a garden in the center, complete with bushes, rocks, and waterfalls. It is so pretty. But before you head up the stairs, make sure to stop by the ticket booth off to the right to purchase your tickets. Day tickets cost roughly 160 yuan, or 24 US dollars. I think that is an incredible deal for the rides this park offers. In general, Chinese theme parks cost less than ones in other countries. There are a few discounts available, such as if you arrive after 1 p.m., you will save 33%. Then weirdly, if you arrive at the park with a pet, you save 13%. While third-party sites like Trip.com sell tickets for this park, I have heard from others that have had issues redeeming them. Since the park charges the same price at the ticket booth, I would recommend just buying them on site. Overall, this park looks good. Parts of this park look really nice. There's this flamboyant horse statue as you enter. The midway by Beyond the Cloud has a fairy tale vibe. You will see some familiar Disney characters such as Ariel and the 7 Dwarfs. Some may find this tacky, but I always get a chuckle seeing knockoff versions of characters like this. Then there are multiple large buildings. Some look okay, and others are fantastic, most notably the castle housing the indoor drop tower. And there are some impressive natural features as well. You have this rocky mountain on the left side of the park. This is so large that it actually hides a nearly 200-foot tall drop tower. You cannot see this ride from most vantage points. That's how big this mountain is. Then the park adorably puts some statues of the mascots rock climbing alongside it. Then on the right side of the park, there is a massive lake. This is serene, and you can take a boat out on it. There are 2 aspects about this park that I am not a fan of. One, there are a few rides that have a carnival-like feel to them. These stick out like sore thumbs because they contrast with the grander, more permanent additions elsewhere. 2. There are parts of this park that feel dead. This is due to the park's setup. You have different clusters with multiple attractions, then the pathways connecting them are long and may not have many attractions or any attractions. For example, the corner of the park with Broken Rail roller coaster was lively. There were a half dozen rides over there, plus some live street entertainment, but no one went to the back corners of the park. I'm not sure if it's because of how far they are from the rest of the park, or maybe it's the fact you cannot see the attractions back there. Most employees at this park are friendly. This becomes very apparent if you head to one of those dead areas, because they all seem eager to interact with you and have you experience their attraction, stand, or shop. But the best example of their friendliness was when a mascot broke character by removing their head after inadvertently scaring a child. You would never see a Disney character do that. Now let's run through the ride lineup. This park has 4 roller coasters. This includes 2 notable thrill coasters. The largest coaster here is Beyond the Cloud. This is arguably the most intense roller coaster that Mack has ever built. This is a hyper-sized launch coaster with one of the world's fastest LSM launches. Then the layout alternates between these towering elements and these lower elements showcasing the ride's speed. This ride has some great ejector airtime and 5 inversions, including this high-speed barrel roll that is notably the world's fastest inversion. This is the ride that put this park on the map for me, and it did not disappoint. If you want to learn more about this coaster, I have a full review available. The other significant coaster is the Broken Rail roller coaster. This is the most surprising roller coaster I've experienced thus far in China. This is a tilt coaster from Jinma. The tilt mechanism is slow, but honestly, that adds to the fear and suspense. Then the main layout is one good element after another, and this ride is genuinely smooth. It helps, the ride received vest restraints a few years ago, but the track work is good anyway. This makes the layout enjoyable. The initial drop offers a delightful freefall sensation. Then, there are 5 strong inversions. The first 3 offer extreme positive Gs. Then the final 2 barrel rolls offer sweet hang time. I just want to note that this is the most restrictive major coaster I've encountered thus far in China. This ride's harness is similar to the B&M vest restraints. The locked position is roughly 1 notch lower than the standard B&M vest restraint. If you have larger thighs, you will have difficulty getting the restraint down. If you think you'll have trouble fitting, try the back row of a car. In these rows, you have enough space such that you can lay your legs flat. This will help you get the harness down further. In the front rows of car, there's this raised middle ridge, so you need to keep your legs bent. We saw a few riders fail to fit. When this happens, the operators will give guests 2 free scoops of ice cream, since the exit goes through an ice cream shop. Yes, you heard that right. If you're too fat to fit, they will give you a fatty food as a consolation prize. The park's other 2 coasters are much smaller. One is the uncreatively named roller coaster. Built by Jinma, this rides a layout reminiscent of a standard Vekoma roller skater. It's tame, but it's a perfect starter coaster for kids, and is smooth enough that adults will enjoy it as well. The final coaster is Twist Coaster. This is a small spinning coaster with a nearly identical layout to the Zamperla-built Twistosaurus of Flamingoland, except this one was built by Jinma. The vehicles are spinning at a slow, but consistent rate for me for much of the layout, but I was getting a decent spin towards the end of the helix. This is definitely a step above the far more common SBF spinners in terms of the overall duration and ambition. If this park were to add another coaster in the future, I would love to see a large-scale family coaster. Something to bridge the gap between the 2 smaller coasters and the 2 larger coasters would be perfect. The park could add a wide range of attractions to address this. Then this park has a robust non-coaster lineup as well. This includes a series of dark rides. These range wildly in terms of scale and ambition. Crazy Journey is the most notable one. This is a robotic arm dark ride in the vein of Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. I love this ride system. There are some rowdy movements, including an extended sequence when you're on your back. The visuals are solid, but you can tell this ride did not have the same budget as the Universal versions. I like the physical set pieces, and the screen quality is decent, but the frame rate did seem a tad too low. The plot was a bit scattershot at points, but it was action-packed. There were a few dark points where nothing happened though. 31 Degrees North is a flying theater. This was unfortunately closed during my visit, but I've heard it's okay. This most notably includes a sequence when you fly over the original park and travel to the current park. The summit of Mount Everest is a bizarre indoor drop tower. The best way I can describe this ride is a motion simulator affixed to a tame drop tower. Then this moves in front of a giant screen. The most fascinating aspect about this attraction was that ride system, since I had never been on anything quite like it. The drops are mild, so don't expect any airtime or stomach drops. This ride was all about the visuals. The quality was fine, but the sheer size of the screen was more notable. There is a 4D theater in the corner of the park that features Ed and Edda Mouse from Europa Park. I imagine most guests here will not realize where those two characters came from. There also are 2 walkthroughs over by the large outdoor drop tower. The haunted house was unfortunately closed. It was stated as only being available on weekends. I was able to try Phantom Cove though. This was a longer experience with these interactive exhibits and games. I was a bit confused what to do because I was not a native speaker, but it seemed to be a hit with kids. Then this park is a litany of virtual reality attractions. There are a handful in the DreamWorks Factory building. Then there are 2 others over by the outdoor drop tower. If you want to try a VR attraction, these 2 are the better visual quality. This park has one large water ride in Magic Rapids. This is an interesting river rafting ride. This one is an absolute soaker. There are several large rapids in the first half. Then, there's also a small drop. This has some zip, and creates a colossal splash that'll hit everyone and flood the boat. The park does provide free ponchos to everyone. These will cover everything except for your shoes, so it is advised to bring flip-flops or plastic covers for your shoes. Then this park also offers complimentary hair dryers afterwards as a bonus. Moving on to the flat rides, this park does not have as many as you expect for a park of this scale, but they have a few noteworthy ones. Tornado is a tourbillon-style ride manufactured by Non-Fong Amusement Rides. This one actually operates unlike the 2 from ABC rides that were previously at the Six Flags parks. This one rotates rather slowly, so it's not as intense or disorienting as it may appear, but it does offer excellent hang time. Snowfield Twins are a duo of drop towers. At first glance, these look like something from SNES, but I believe these were manufactured by the Chinese manufacturers. One side shoots you up, and another side shoots you down. The Space Shot side was only testing the day I visited, but I was able to try the drop side. The view from the top was interesting. I figured I would get a great view of the park, but I was instead staring at that rock mountain. The drop was underwhelming though. It is quite slow, so forget about any airtime. Beyond that, you will find a few others in the back section of the park. This includes a bumper cars ride that is comically translated to the elves that touched each other. Yes, you heard that right. This place does not have a ton of kids rides, but I think that's because of the presence of Candy World next door. As I noted earlier, that is the far better park for young kids. Now that I've covered the rides, let's talk about the operations. Dispatches were a mixed bag across this park. Many of the smaller rides would load trains quickly. It seemed like these ones were less concerned about running less than full vehicles. Summit of Mount Everest was only running every 20 minutes. Considering this ride holds just a few people, that was a curious decision. I am not sure if they run more often on busy days. The roller coasters here operate with first come, first served seating. The park admits enough people into the station to fill the next train. If the seat you want has already been taken, you are welcome to wait back in the queue for the next cycle. You may just have to wait a bit depending on the ride. The 2 major coasters can run multiple trains, but they almost always use just one. Beyond the Clouds operations depended on the number of people in the queue. Whenever the ride had a full train worth of riders already queued up, they would waste no time loading the train. Then the restraint check did not take too long. If there were not enough people to fill a train, they would wait at least 5 minutes in between cycles. If you visit on a particularly quiet day, you may see the park only unlock the front car or 2 in this ride. If you want the back, ask nicely, and they likely will unlock it for you. Again, staff members of this park are really friendly. Broken Rail roller coaster has painstakingly slow dispatches no matter what. This ride has separate load and unload platforms. This dramatically slows everything down when a park uses just one train like they do here. The park will not advance the train until everyone from the prior train vacates the platform. Then everyone must walk over to the unload platform to store loose articles. Then, only then, can you walk to the load platform to choose your seat. Then the restraint check is tedious, because staff members need to manually tighten the vest straps from behind on everyone. Fortunately, I have heard the crowds of this park are usually manageable. I visited on a spring weekday, and almost everything was a walk-on. The longest wait I encountered midday was 10 minutes for a few coasters. If you do visit on a busy day, this park offers a VIP skip the line pass. This is offered on the park's largest rides. These are sold per attraction in the park's WeChat mini program. I am not sure if they are also sold somewhere on site. It costs 50 yuan, or $7 per person per ride. These route you directly to the station, so they could be major time savers. 7 additional touring notes. 1. Rides may have different hours than the park itself. The exact hours can be found in the park's WeChat mini program, or by each ride's entrance. In general, most rides seem to close 30 to 45 minutes before the park does, but a few tend to close earlier. The Broken Rail roller coaster in particular has a tendency to close a few hours before the park. On our visit, it closed 3 hours before the park did. 2. This park is open year-round, so naturally, rides will have to go down for maintenance at points. Unfortunately, this park does not announce its refurbishment calendar in advance. You just have to roll the dice the rides you want are open for your visit. You can see a ride's operational status in the WeChat mini program, but that will only give you the information for the current day. 3. Many outdoor rides will close in the rain. This is common with a lot of parks in China. The 2 major roller coasters will not run in any precipitation, even if it's a light misting. The park will reopen the rides as soon as the rain stops at least, but again, their definition of rain is very, very minimal, so I would definitely be careful visiting this park on a day if rain is forecasted, especially for multiple hours. The live operational status for each ride can also be viewed in WeChat. This will stave a ride down for maintenance or weather. There is a ride status board by the main entrance as well. This will accurately stave a ride is closed or not, but I noticed the park was not careful with this whether they put a ride in the temporary or full day closure sections. 4. You will not be able to wear glasses on the major thrill rides, even with a strap. This is a common practice in Asia, unfortunately. 5. Every ride will have somewhere for you to store your belongings on the platform while you ride. 6. Multiple rides have benches in the queue if you're stuck in a long wait. I wish more parks had this feature so you can rest your feet while queuing. 7. Many rides here have a 60-year-old age limit. This can be seen at quite a few parks in Asia. I'm not sure how they enforce this, or if it's just on the honor system. What else does this park have beyond the rides? There's an ice house that I believe has an indoor sledding attraction, but this was another thing down for refurbishment during my visit. There is a ropes course, but this was another attraction that was down for maintenance during my visit. The park offers live entertainment on the midways. The exact times can be found in the WeChat mini program. This is mostly singing and dancing, ranging from mascots, to character actors, to single acts. There weren't too many games, but there was a shooting and archery range available. I believe these were additional costs. Kids will find a large playground over by a roller coaster. This was arguably the most popular attraction in the park midday. It was positively popping. There also was a pop-up market over by roller coaster. This mostly sold cheap trinkets, but they interestingly also sold live animals like bunnies and fish. I saw this at a few Chinese parks. I'm not a fan of this, but I really hope guests that bought them give them good homes. Then this park has a lot of food options available. This ranges from full-scale restaurants to quick service locations. I chose to eat before and after my visit, but there were 2 particularly interesting food options I want to highlight. First, there's a cat cafe. I also saw this at Happy Valley Beijing. This is exactly what it sounds like. You can pay to spend some time sitting and petting cats. They look to have nearly 20 in there. Second, there's a mobile food delivery option. This was advertised heavily in the queue for Broken Rail roller coaster, which can have a pretty nasty queue. You scan a QR code, order, and pay online, and then staff members will come over to you to deliver your food. I have never seen a system like this before, but it's a neat idea at a theme park if you're stuck in a miserable queue and get hungry or thirsty. How much time will you need at this park? I think it depends on the park's hours and crowds. On quieter weekdays, this park closes as early as 5:15 p.m. Then this park tends to stay open later on weekends and holidays, staying open until at least 8 p.m. and sometimes 9 or 10 p.m. Oh, and it's worth noting this place opens very early for a theme park at 9:15 a.m. most days, and most of the rides are available at opening. If you only care about the coasters, you can comfortably do everything in a half day, so you can consider the afternoon discount. If you care about the full theme park experience, as in wanting to hit the non-coasters as well, I think you want the better part of a day here. We spend 6 hours here in a dead day because we want to get multiple rides on the major coasters and try anything that looked unique. Do I recommend this park? Absolutely. This is a very well-rounded park. It is one of the better ones I've visited thus far in China. For coaster lovers, it has an elite top coaster at Beyond the Cloud and another great roller coaster, the Broken Rail roller coaster. Then this park has some solid non-coasters and some really pretty aspects between the buildings and landscaping. Those are my thoughts on Suzhou Amusement Land Forest World. What are your thoughts on this theme park? Have you been there? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there will be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.